How we doing, everyone? Welcome to another edition of FSI's NHL DFS Pick Show. I'm your host, TK Nation 47, joined by McKinley 412. McKinley, how you doing tonight? Are you excited for another video, another Thursday night slate?
Absolutely. I think I'm a little bit more excited for this Eichel trade that's maybe possibly happening. I don't know. I'm just so sick of all these rumors happening. I'm just ready for a trade to finally happen, but it looks like we're pretty close to the ending here.
Okay, this is some fun news to be had. Any idea on where he's going?
It looks like either Calgary or Vegas. I guess those are the two front runners right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, maybe you can get some good capital back from Vegas. A lot of good young talent there. Calgary, that would be a pretty weird fit. I couldn't see that, but cool story. I went to military school with a friend who works out with Eichel down in Florida, and I see pictures of them all the time online. Guy's a beast.
Yeah.
He's an absolute tank. But hey, happy for you guys to get out of your drama, just like I'm happy to get all the Odell Beckham drama out of my way. So hey, we're a drama-free show here on Thursday night. All right, let's get into it. We're going to jump right into the favorites of the slate for November 4th. We have Boston at a minus 245 facing off against the Detroit team that started out pretty well, but looks to be coming back down to earth with some injuries that have really plagued their past couple of games. We have Seattle minus 160 against your beloved Sabres, Calgary minus 145, Florida minus 145 against a pretty good team in Washington, and then the Islanders at a minus 140 versus the Montreal Habs. Talk to us a little bit about the favorite game totals we got and what to expect tomorrow.
Yep. So you got the offensive juggernauts of Toronto and Tampa Bay from previous seasons. It's going to be a high-scoring game, highest over/under, and then with Florida and Washington with all their firepower as well. Also that over 6 and over/under. And then everybody else just kind of at that 5.5. I don't know. It seems like it's a pretty even matchup slate. I know we got Boston way up there, and even Seattle's pretty decent at minus 160. But everybody else, minus 145 isn't too big of a favorite compared to what we've seen so far this season. So for such a large slate, there are a lot of even matchups happening.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And it kind of makes it for a very fun GVP slate. But yeah, we're going to get into the teeth of this. Let's go position by position here and break down some of our favorite plays for tomorrow. I'll start us off with the GVP spot here, and that is Washington. I really like Kuznetsov at 7,500. This is a guy that has had a point in 7 out of his last 8 games. He averages 16 DK points this year. This is the loader to the OV slap shot. A guy that's playing on the power play. He's playing with Ovechkin. He's getting a lot of ice time with the injury to Backstrom. Or is Backstrom back? I don't think Backstrom is back. No, Backstrom's still out. So Kuzi's getting a ton of ice time. And I like him here. He's not technically a shots on goal specialist, but if I'm playing Ovechkin, and I'm guarantee you I'm going to play Kuznetsov and center. Not the fun position tomorrow, but tell me about the best cash options or one of the best cash options for tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a lot of just like absolute studs up at the top at the center position. You got like Matthews and Kuznetsov, like you said, Barzal, Lindholm, Stamkos. It's loaded, but they're all in like pretty tough matchups.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of be looking a little farther down towards that Bergeron and Norris area. So Bergeron, no goals on the season, only 3 assists. Like he kind of has been struggling. He hasn't provided really much of a floor either with like his shots on net or anything. But still, they're the clear-cut number 1 favorite. That top line of Boston is arguably the best line in hockey, left to right. And so at 6.3K, we're getting him at a serious discount. Just considering he has struggled so far this season. But tomorrow, I think he's going to be in a great spot to kind of bounce back to what we know that Bergeron can do. And then below him, Norris for Ottawa. Part of that Tkachuk, Norris, and Batherson line. Mm-hmm. That's actually been one of the most productive lines in the entire league. The 3 of them. So pretty amazing what they've been doing. Norris, he provides a floor. He's been lights out lately. He's got, excuse me, he's got goals in 4 of his past 5 games. And in those 4 games, he's got DK points of 18, 19, 20, and 22. So high-powered offense, good matchup tomorrow. So I do like Norris as a nice cash play there.
Yeah. I do like Ottawa. They score a lot of goals. They also give up a ton of goals. So, a team that's just high danger all up and down the ice. That's definitely the fantasy games we want to target. And I love that Norris. I play a little Nick Paul, Connor Brown line from time to time too. That Ottawa too. But yeah, the top line, they're usually pretty cheap. Norris 6K. I think that's the most I've seen him priced at this year. But
Yeah,
definitely
Ottawa's cheap, especially
yeah.
with all the injuries that Vegas has, especially down the center. We saw what Matthews and Toronto was able to do last time out. They're missing Pacioretty on the wing and Stone. They lost Carlson down the middle. They're missing some defenders. It's pretty ugly what Vegas is rolling out. So I think Ottawa should have no trouble scoring some goals.
Strong bets there. Good job. I'm gonna go with Carter 5,600 in the Battle of Pennsylvania tomorrow. This is typically one of the hard-nosed hockey games of the year. I believe they played it outdoors not too long ago, but Pittsburgh is still without Crosby after testing positive for COVID with mild symptoms. So he's probably out a few weeks or months, knowing Sidney Crosby. Just guys just seems to never be healthy. But Jeff Carter going to be playing on the top line with Getzel and Danton Heinen, and probably going to be playing on the power play. Jeff Carter, he had 3 starting out the season. He had points in 3 straight with a goal and an assist in the second game of the year. Those we know without Sidney Crosby. Home matchup versus Philly. I think it's going to be one of those games where you think it's tough. You think it's going to be low scoring affair, but it's just going to be a good hockey game. And I like to have exposure to, line ones and good hockey games because the crowd, the emotion of it. I think Carter could see himself on the board here with a couple of points tomorrow. So I think that's a really solid value in a good hockey game. All right, finish it off with your favorite value play, and I'll finish off with mine.
All right, yeah. So we talked about all those Vegas injuries earlier, and that kind of has led the way for Nicholas Waugh to kind of step up in warmups or in morning skate on Wednesday. Waugh was skating on that top line and centering Marcia Show and Smith. Gonna blank there. So Marcia Show and Smith. So I mean, if Vegas is going to score, it's got to come from somewhere. It's probably going to be coming from Marcia Show or Smith. And if Waugh is going to be on the line with them, sending them at 3.3K, I'm willing to take that risk if I do need that value. He's going to see 18 plus minutes on that top line. He does see power play time. He doesn't see power play 1 time, but he is still going to see some time on that power play. So like I said, Vegas, they're hurting for goals to come from anywhere. So they're probably going to score at some point against Ottawa. Ottawa isn't the greatest defensively. So where do you think that where do you think those goals are going to come from? It's probably going to be that top line there.
Absolutely. Yeah, good call. I'm going to go with Pagot here for the New York Islanders facing off against Montreal. Islanders would on the top favorites on the slate at minus 140. Team gotten off a pretty slow start, but they're getting healthy. They're getting some of these top guys back, playing pretty well. Montreal has bounced back since that dreaded start to the season. Drunin is banged up. I think they're still out a few key defenders, and I'm just not sold on what they got in goal. Whether they're at home or not, I think Islanders play this tough team pretty well. And Pagot, definitely a guy I like too. He averages 6.8 on the slate. Definitely a guy that can get block shots at the center position. Shots on goal is another spot he's pretty good at. I think he could be, a good cheap option. I think the preferred play would to be Roy over Pagot, but for the sake of chance, I think you could get a shot here at a good line 3 center. Maybe we'll talk about another one later on, a guy that can get you a good exposure on a top power play unit. Geeky. All right, so that'll do it for center. Let's move on to wing. Go ahead and start us off with a favorite cash play.
Yep. So it's Pasternak. He's the cover boy here. Boston won. I mean, he's kind of the one leading the charge. He's the guy. He's going to be the goal scorer. He's going to be the guy shooting the puck the most. He's averaging 4.4 shots on game. If he gets 5 shots, he gets that 3-point bonus, which is huge. He's only got 2 goals and 3 assists on the season, but we know what this guy is capable of. And like I said, Boston won. They're the clear-cut cash line for tomorrow. So he's got that shot on goal bonus, like I said, in 3 of 7 games. I think 7-6, way too cheap. I'd play this guy in this spot, probably if he was like 8K or 8.1. So I think we're getting a little bit of a discount here. Absolutely. But you want to go all the way up to Ovechkin here. Talk to us a little about that one.
Well, Ovi is just on an insane run right now. Points in 8 of his last 9. He averages 21 DK points, 9 goals to 6 assists on the year, and he has over 42 shots on goal. It's insanity what Ovi's doing right now. Florida is what we know about them right now is not only is Bennett hurt, their second line center, they lost Quenneville due to the findings of the Blackhawks scandal. So they're kind of a yacht without a captain right now. They're a really good hockey team with a lot of great pieces, but it seems like captain jumped ship. And I think they're going to start getting got. And I'm going to go with Washington, a team that has been playing really tough, really inspired. They have a lot of talent, and I think Ovechkin, at his worst, he's 12 points, and at 9K, I know that doesn't pay it off. But hey, if we're talking ceilings here for GBPs, you definitely want the guy that could score 2 goals in any matchup. It doesn't matter who's skating. So I like Ovi for the ceiling. At 9K, it's definitely something you play alone or with Kuznetsov, and then you find yourself a nice cheap mini stack to go with it. But that's probably it. You're not going to be able to fit Ovechkin and Pasternak and these other good plays of the slate. You got to hope Ovechkin goes nuclear, or you kind of just stay away. So that's why he makes for a great GPP play. All right, who is your second favorite cash option at the winger position?
We're going to go back to the Ottawa. Norse's line mate, Batherson, 5.7, far too cheap. We're getting a huge discount on him. He should be in the mid 6K range with what he's been able to do. He's getting close to 20 minutes of time on ice. Ottawa's going to be scoring a lot, I think, against this just absolutely depleted Vegas line. He's got 5 goals, 5 assists so far this season. He just shoots a lot. Like I said, this is one of the most productive lines from left to right in terms of goals generated in the entire league. We're talking, I think it's Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, and Wilson. They're the top dogs. And then it's these guys coming in next. So I think I love Ottawa one here, and they're just super cheap. They can really get you anything. They can get you the big dogs like Pasternak in there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I like I said earlier about Ottawa, I love that play. That's good line stack. I'm going to go with Anders Lee here. There's not much to really sell you on when it comes to what he's done this year. It's all about what can happen. And being a good favorite on the road in Montreal, not that much of a distance, by the way, between New York and Montreal. So I really like Anders Lee here at 7,400 on that Barzal line with Bailey. Islanders been playing really well of late. He only has 1 goal. He only has 1 game with multiple shots. But I'm really hoping that, Anders Lee is the guy that you can just play with one of your favorite cheap stacks, or you try to put him off as a one-off. Or maybe you get that whole line stack and you go one-off with Ovechkin. You just try to make something happen. Lee is a guy that can score multiple times in games. He's going to play on the top power play unit. I think the Islanders are in for a big matchup tomorrow against Montreal, and I think Lee leads the way. All right, who do we got for our value plays? Go ahead and kick us off.
We're going with Jordan Eberle, Seattle, going up against my Sabres. But I don't know. I'm Sabres. They're just wrapping up this long West Coast trip. They're a young team, and they're goaltending and just kind of like their puck luck is kind of coming back to catch them. So I do think Seattle's in a nice spot. They are the second largest favorite on the entire slate. Eberle, 4.4K. This is a guy who is a routine 20 plus goal scorer. He's shooting more lately. He started off the season not really shooting the puck a whole ton, but he's definitely shooting it more lately. And he can easily find the back of the net, no problem. He's getting that power play one time, and he's going to see a lot of ice time as well, kind of leading the way there. So Eberle, I think he's in a great matchup, great spot, and I think this is another guy who's just a little bit too cheap based on his goal scoring upside in the floor that he can provide.
Very nice. Yeah. If you're picking against Buffalo, I gotta listen.
Yeah, it hurts, but I want to make money.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm going to take a shot here with Jake DeBrusk at 3,100 for Boston. I think this could make for an interesting pivot off of that top line. I think we know that Boston's going to score goals tomorrow. Yes, most of them can come from that line one, but DeBrusk, he's going to be playing. He's not really going to be playing with anyone solid on his line, but he does from time to time creep up into that top power play unit or, on that second power play. They do trust him enough to score. DeBrusk he has 2 goals on the year. He had 5 shots versus Carolina, 4 versus Florida, averages 6.7. Those are recent games. He's really coming into his own, coming off of last year's injury. So I really like DeBrusk all you're looking for is that one lone goal. And I think I'm going to take a shot here versus a decrepit Detroit team in a pivot off of that top line in Boston. All right. That'll settle it for the winger position. Let's kick it into defense. Start us off with your favorite cash target.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the same cash target that I mentioned last video. Brent Burns at 6,900. Just with how depleted San Jose kind of is right now, this is a guy who can possibly see close to 30 minutes of ice time, playing literally half the game. He's shooting the puck like crazy. He's getting that shot on goal bonus all the time. And we just know from years past what his offensive upside can be. This guy who can put the puck in the back of the net. This is the guy who can, generate assists and get on the score sheet. So I think while I don't really love the spot too much for San Jose in general, I think just the opportunity is there and the volume of ice time is going to be there for him to provide you with a pretty solid floor at that price.
Yeah, absolutely. Good call on Burns going up against, St. Louis. He's probably going to see a lot of shots, probably some block shot bonuses in his future. Speaking of block shots, we're going to go to a guy that's quite possibly leading the league in block shots. It's Artem Zub at 5,200. Now, you had mentioned it before the show. Vegas not likely to be shooting the puck quite often tomorrow with all of the defense that they're in preparation for against Ottawa. But I like Zub because he's 1 assist or 1 goal away from exploding his floor and his ceiling, or to his ceiling. The floor is typically 4 block shots. You get the bonus. He does pepper in a couple of shots on goal. He does have power play 2 ice time, Chabot getting that power play 1. But Zub, really good youngster, blocks a lot of shots. He's getting for bonuses. And hey, if he gets an assist, that's 20 DK points right there, usually for Zub. So I really like him at the price tag of 5,200. It's a little bit of a poor man's Burnsy, but he can get the job done. Go ahead and finish it off with your favorite cash defensive targets, and I'll do the same.
All right, so we're gonna go back with Seattle here and Giordano at 5.6K. He's got points in 5 of his past 6 games right now, and we've kind of seen his salary kind of go down while he's been doing it. It's probably because like he hasn't really been shooting the puck a whole lot. He has been blocking shots lately. But we know what his upside can be. If you don't want Giordano at 5'6", I don't mind Alec Martinez at 5.4K either. I think both those guys, with Alec Martinez, he's the block shot machine. He's kind of just like Zubs. So I think either of those guys at that price range is fine. And then Grzelcyk for Boston at 3.5K, super value. He's going to see 20 minutes or more of ice time. He gets power play time. He's on the biggest favorite in Boston. He's got 2 or more shots in every single game. He can get you that 3 block shot bonus as well. But this is a guy, while he hasn't really generated any goals or really too many assists so far this season, I was looking kind of through his past logs, and last season, if you kind of put it over an 82 game stretch, he was double-digit goals and 30 or more assists. So this is a guy who can definitely get on the score sheet. Hasn't been there so far, so it's kind of suppressed his salary. But like I said, Boston, they're going to score a lot of goals tomorrow, and it wouldn't shock me if Grzelcyk gets on the end of one.
Yes, definitely a defender I'm looking to play tomorrow, especially at those price tags. I love playing the cheap defenders. You found me a good one right there at 3,500. All right, I'm going to go with Sergachev at 4,100. Tampa Bay, I think they're in line to see a lot of shots. Sergachev, a guy that blocks quite a few shots. He has 11 on the season. He has 18 shots on goal, 2 goals, 4 assists. He does help out on the offensive end. He is skating. He does skate forward quite a bit. I think, Toronto, a team that plays that really fast pace, sets up really well for Sergachev. I see him being on the ice quite often tomorrow and playing from the offensive angle, maybe a little bit more so than defense. So we could see some offensive production here. Averages 8.7 DK a game. I really like him. Next up, we have Noah Dobson, who has 3 assists on the year, 3,600. I believe he's still getting first power play unit time. You might want to double check that before lock. But if you're getting power play 1 at 3,600, 5 shots in his last game out, 9.2 average on DK with, those assists. He can be just, a really smash play when it comes to blocking shots, getting some shots on goal. This is a guy that could easily get that shots on goal bonus if he's, still skating on that first power play. So I really love Dobson tomorrow. I love Islanders tomorrow, so I have to play Dobson. All right. That'll wrap things up for our defenders. Let's get into our favorite line stacks and send them home.
Yeah, for cash, I could have just put Boston 1, Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak, but that's just way too obvious. But I love this Ottawa line as well. Tkachuk, Norris, Batherson, they're just way too cheap with the production that they have been doing or providing. Going up against Vegas, they're just riddled with injuries right now. Their bottom 6 is essentially just like minor leaguers. So I think Ottawa is going to be in a pretty good line or in a pretty good spot. What was their money line at? I feel for betting purposes, I would be all over them on Thursday night here.
I'm seeing at plus 105. It's basically a pick 'em.
I'd be crushing that. I don't know. I don't see a way that Vegas really does too much here against Ottawa, but I could be completely wrong. We'll see. It is Ottawa. They are the kings of letdowns. Well,
Yeah.
No, that's Toronto. But Ottawa can do it too. So we'll see.
Yeah. Hey, they did beat the Stars recently 4-1, but they've lost 2 straight. So they didn't. We'll see what happens with Ottawa tomorrow. Yeah, I really like their spot, and I really like that line. I'm gonna go with GPP. I'm gonna go with Lee, Barzal, and Bailey. Bailey gives you that nice salary savings for a guy that can score goals. We talked about how Lee has a lot of upside. Barzal, just the centerman, really good skater, really good talent. Barzal, if you're playing Lee, you probably got to play Barzal because if one scores, the other's helping him, vice versa. And Bailey gives you a nice little salary saver that can help you pay up at defense, or maybe get you a one-off like Ovechkin if you're paying down at defense too. So, yeah, any goalie loves, any kind of, I guess we could go with whoever's
I
in
haven't
Boston, maybe Swayman. But any goalie advice? I know we usually figure that
I
out
haven't looked
before lock, but
too
go ahead.
much. St. Louis kind of sticks out. St. Louis has shockingly been allowing like some of the most shots on goal per game against so far this season, and they're going up against San Jose, who is missing a lot of a lot of their firepower um, due to like this whole COVID issue that's been going on. They're missing Carlson, they're missing Timo Meyer, they're missing blanking out. They're missing multiple people, multiple top guys. So a depleted lineup against a team that allows a lot of shots but has solid goaltending. I don't know if it's going to be Binnington. He would be going back to back. I don't know if they want to do that, but then their next guy up, Husso or something, he's out in COVID protocol, so I don't know who they're going to turn to. I am not knowledgeable on the third string St. Louis goaltender.
Maybe Joel Hofer,
Possibly.
Winnipeg.
Who knows? Who knows?
Your guess is
But
good
yeah, I'd
as
probably
mine,
go
right?
with like a guy like the St. Louis goalie. Even like, nah, I won't go that far.
I
We'll
was
just take it with
thinking,
St. Louis. That'll be my call.
yeah, I was thinking maybe Markstrom versus Dallas. Dallas, a team that can put up points, but they cannot show up from time to time.
They haven't been scoring very much. No.
And they don't score a lot. The problem is if they score 2 goals, they're only going to shoot like 22 times. So it's not like you're getting a lot of volume in shots. I honestly thought that Vasilevsky was a really solid play for tomorrow. Let me check his price. He's going to get Toronto at home, so they might price him down a little bit, or on the road, so they might price him down a little bit. Yeah, my suspicions are right. He's 7,500. I really like Vasilevsky. Sometimes it's better to play this guy when nobody does, because as an absolute favorite, he can have some like real, eggs. But in his last 3, he's scored over 19 fantasy points. He's 3-0. That's against Pittsburgh, Arizona, Washington. Pittsburgh and Washington. Those are some two really tough teams. He's actually beaten them twice this year. So Vasilevsky does show up when it counts. Toronto, as mentioned, can lay eggs, but they're going to put up a lot of shots. So he could really get to that bonus, and he could still win too if Tampa Bay does show up. So yeah. I like Vasilevsky at 7,500, or Tristan Jarry maybe in that battle of Philly and Pitt. Carter Hart too, if you wanted to, in that game. That game's, who knows? That game's like the true wild card, Philly and Pittsburgh tomorrow. So, all right, that'll wrap things up here for us here at FSI. I am TK Nation 47 on Twitter. You can follow McKinley _412. Any lasting thoughts before we go?
Nope, not really. I think we covered everything.
All right, guys. Best of luck tomorrow, and best of luck tomorrow. Like, comment, video, subscribe. All right. Have a good night.